y'all have to be able to identify what distractions do, right? When distractions come in, they are small, right? They are things that you may not even see, like when unexpected expenses, right? Stuff like that come in, right? Unexpected expenses come in. Those are distractions, because if you get caught up in that and it mess up your money, right, then it changes your perception, right? It changes your attitude, right? It starts to make you stress out, get depressed, anxious, all that kind of stuff, right? That in those times you have to look for your gratitude, right? You thank God for being able to take care of whatever you need to take care of. And then you trust Jehovah that he gonna be your provider, because he is your Jehovah Jireh, and that anything else that may come your way, he's gonna continue to give you the means to take care of it. That way you don't have to stress about it, right? Because the Bible tells us to cast our cares upon him, for he cares for us, right? So if you go to the doctor and you get a bad doctor's report, right? That bad doctor's report is the distraction, right? Because it starts to mess with your mind, right? You start to worry, and when you worry, you make bad decisions, because when worry walks in, wisdom walks out, right? So in times like that, you have to remember Jehovah Rapha, right? Because he is your healer, right? So in any time that a distraction comes in, that's why God has a name, right? He has a name for a distraction. If you having issues with people, your co-workers, or in a place that you have to go, even your church members, right? You start having problems with folks, you have to remember Jehovah Shabbat, right? The Lord fights your battles, right? He will go before you and he will take care of it. That way, anytime you have a distraction come your way, God has a name, right? If you being overlooked, right? You trying to get a promotion, that you don't let that distract you and throw you off, right? You know that God is El Roha, right? He is the God that sees you. Because we know him to be El Roha, the God who saves me. Because we know him to be Jehovah Jireh, our provider, Jehovah Rapha, our healer, Jehovah Shabbat, the one who fights for us, right? Because we know him to be all things, we have to understand the spiritual distractions that are coming our way. We have to see that in the world. When things happen to you, it's not coincidence. Every single thing that is happening around you is a way to deter you from what God has for you, right? And who God wants you to be. Because you have to take your place in this world so that you can help solve the problem you were created to solve, right? Because that is how we bring our heaven to earth, is by creating a better place. But in order for us to create a better place to live in, for our kids to live in, like, because a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, means you have to stand up and take your rightful place in the world while you're here, right? And you have to know how to pray for relief of distractions, right? I'm going to give y'all a verse, well, a chapter, Psalms chapter 56, right? It says, a prayer for relief from tormentors. Be merciful to me, O God, for man would swallow me up. Fighting all day, he oppresses me. My enemies would hound me all day, for there are many who fight against me, O Most High. Whenever I am afraid, I will trust in you. In God, I will praise his word. In God, I will put my trust. I will not fear. But what can flesh do to me, right? All day they twist my words, and their thoughts are against me for evil. They gather together, they hide, they mark my steps. When they lie in wait for my life, shall they escape by iniquity? In anger, cast down the peoples, O God. You number my wanderings, put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? When I cry out to you, when my enemies will turn back. This I know, because God is for me. In God, I will praise his word. In the Lord, I will praise his word. In God, I will put my trust. I will not be afraid. What can man do to me? Vows made to you are binding upon me, O God. I will render praises to you, for you have delivered my soul from death. Have you not kept my feet from falling, that I may walk before God in the light of the living? Right? So in Psalms 56, I usually like to recite it, like, and meditate on it, to remind yourself, like, use it to remind yourself that there is nothing bigger than God. There is nothing more powerful than God, more stronger than God, more life-changing than God. So therefore, anything that's happening to you, anybody who is coming against you, anything that you may face in this lifetime, it is not important. It's not as big as God. And it's all in purpose for where God is taking you. Romans 8:28. All things work for the good, right? So you have to keep these things in mind when facing these distractions. Know the names of God. Know what to call him, right? Just like you in a crowded place, like you hear your baby mom, and you know your baby mom or dad, right, over anybody else's. When you hear it in, God know your voice. When you get in there talking about Jehovah Shabbat, right, Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nisi, when you start calling him by them names, right, he know your voice, baby, and he know how to show up for you. So you got to remember that. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind in the word of Christ, right? I love y'all.